Day one back at anchor. Yesterday I had issues with the GoPro. I recorded the whole thing coming over here, and of about 30 videos, 4 made it. Yeah, what we're going to do now is we're going to untap that so we can put it over the door, because every time I open the hatch up a lot of water gets in. But before I do that, I'm going to just move the dinghy from the front of the boat to the back, give it a bit of a sort out, because obviously it's a bit of a mess. And then we'll probably might go have a little explore on the island. We could have a row over there. We don't have any petrol, but we could row, it's not that far. And then after that we'll get back. Probably not going to move for a few days, just going to hang around here for a few days. It's not a bad anchor, it's a little bit choppy now, but when I got in last night it was like flat. Like last night was, you know, I couldn't even tell I was at anchor, to be honest. It was nice, so that's good. Yeah, the anchor's not moved a touch, so hopefully we're not stuck again. We're not. I could see it this morning, it's fine. I could even see it last night and it was quite dark when I got in. So the anchor's alright, we're not moving. And yeah, you have 2 islands, so there's that one and then there's that one. So we're going to go explore that one today. And there's a monastery on there too, so we're going to have a look at that. Good thing with the rain is it's keeping the boat quite clean. We did throw everything on and leave in a bit of a rush yesterday, so we're just still trying to sort everything out. But yeah, I'm going to get the dinghy moved, clear that out, because we're going to need that to get to land. I had some deja vu this morning. Every time I forget to get toilet roll, because you don't need to buy toilet roll when you're in a port, because it's in the toilet. But yeah, again, maybe too much information or too honest, but I had to just sacrifice a t-shirt in the end. But hey ho. Right, dinghy, let's move the dinghy. So because we still have a gas shortage, we're just using this little portable one to make a coffee. Could use the outside one, but it's raining, so it's meant to rain today, but then we're meant to have 2 sunny days after that. Must be an easier way to do that. Problem is, once it tightens, it opens, but then once it tightens, it begins to open. That should be good now. One day we will be striving. Right, gonna have a coffee, then go over to explore that little island. Yesterday we had a problem with a carbon monoxide alarm as well. That's why it's out at the minute. It just started going off, and I know that's why you're meant to have an alarm, but you know, there was no gas turned on anywhere, and I put the alarm outside and it carried on to beep. It says on the back that like the red LED means warning carbon monoxide, and it was the red button, and it says if there was a problem with battery, it would be a yellow flashing light, but it was the red light. I have no idea what caused that, so it's a bit worrying, isn't it? But you know, it wouldn't have been detecting carbon monoxide outside, so when I took it out and put it outside, it didn't stop. It went on for, you know, I wrapped it in a towel as well, so there was no way of it detecting carbon monoxide anymore, but it still continued to beep. So I think it might just be faulty, so we're going to have to get a new one, preferably before we start cooking inside again as well. So I'm just there, still cloudy, but it has stopped raining. Rode into this little cove here, tied up, and then I've discovered water and a shower that says no showering or for dogs. Strange. Oh, and toilets, so that's quite handy. So yeah, let's have a little explore, see what's about. Don't need to put up anymore, now it's stopped raining. Big boat's pulled in. Remember in the winter where there would only be me? Now there's more, and there's going to be even more soon. Yeah, so this is Saint Herat, one of the two islands. So we've just come into this little cove, and if we go this way and up, we can get to the monastery, and then this is where they make the wine, and then you can see all the vineyards as well. I've got €5. Don't know if that's going to buy me any wine, but I had this thing last year where I would only drink wine if I'd visited the place, and it was quite cool while it lasted. Then I just decided I needed to drink cheap wine, but it'd be nice to get back into that. So yeah, they run ferries to here from Cannes. So if ever you're on holiday in Cannes and you want to come to the island, if I'm still about, give me a call, I'll bring you here. But if not, yeah, you can get a ferry direct from the old port in Cannes that runs over here. They're quite regular, so it's probably worth a visit, but I'll let you know when I've finished visiting it. So people who know me know this. I have a phobia. It's a phobia of frogs and toads. I've had it for ages. I don't know why. Like, there's been times I've nearly like died, literally jumped into the middle of the road because there was a frog on the pavement. And it's been raining, and I haven't been anywhere like frog territory for a while, and this looks like frog territory. Let's just hope. So there's the monastery. So in a previous episode I anchored just over there, and then I tried to get around that buoy over there, but the wind was blowing like really strong, and that's how I ended up going into Cannes in the first place. The plan was to go around this island, and then the wind would have been able to, we had to head it direct into it for a little bit, but then we'd have been able to have it on our side, and then that should have taken us to Antibes where we were supposed to go, but we ended up in Cannes for 2 months. That's the it's obviously under construction. The water's really clear though around this side. and it looks like it might be brightening up a little bit, so that'd be nice. While I'm on this side, actually, that whole coastline is where in a previous episode I sailed around from over Saint-Tropez, which is over there, which actually looks like really far away when you're looking at it like this. And then I sailed in to, well, it's even further that way actually. But yeah, that last bit there is a stretch I did, which ended up just taking like 4 hours because the wind died and the engine had to go just above idling for the whole leg in the dark. But yeah, and then Sailingyorkshireman, where I was, is just over there too. But it's a really nice bit of coast. You've got like Esterel just up there. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Yeah, I find that with France, like, you have just so many different sort of landscapes, and yeah, it is nice. But then obviously you leave this part here and then you get into like Cannes, Antibes, etc. And then I've not been to the coast in between here and Monaco yet, so that'll be interesting to see. And then going back that way, I have been to most of the coast along there up to Marseille, but then none of the coast beyond Marseille. But the plan for me is I'm going to go that way, so that way, and I hope to then go over to Corsica, but I may as well get to the end of France first and then turn around, come back. But on the way back, I'm hoping to like skip this whole part out and have a long sail across and then come out around about Marseille. That's the plan anyway. So we had a look in the shop and the cheapest bottle of wine I could find was a Pinot Noir, which my friend swears by Pinot Noir. It is actually quite a nice red wine. But it was 40 euros for the bottle, so we didn't get any. It's a shame though. Not sure if I'm allowed inside. Laissez la porte fermée, which I think means close the door. So yeah, must be. It's like silent. It's really spooky. They're always quite impressive, aren't they? I always think that. I couldn't film inside. There were some people looking around when I went in, and I don't know. It doesn't feel right. I don't know why, but yeah. So, but yeah, I always think that. You think of like old buildings and just how, I mean, they're just impressive, aren't they? And now, modern buildings, they're just all, I don't know, boring. But yeah, the monument at the front is closed because they're doing building work, so we can't go have a look around there. That would be the interesting one to see, because as impressive as it is, you know, all churches and cathedrals are quite impressive to look around, aren't they? But the monument would have been a little bit different, or the monastery, the place where the monks lived basically, or lived. But I hadn't seen any monks just yet. Do these tell the answer to the questions? Could just have an episode here. How many monks live on the island? We were just on about that. 20. Do they have any personal money? Nope. Is it hard living without a conventional family life? I'm practically a monk. I should call the channel like the Sailing Monk at this stage. So, the questions we need to answer. The wines are excellent, but isn't it a bit expensive? And it is, because usually you go to like a vineyard in France and you can buy it from like the tap quite cheap. Because the area of land is small, producing organic wines of a high quality, and we aim to produce a maximum of 35 watt per hour. 30, I'm gonna have to Google what that means. So it means we have to invest. Is there anything else we want to know? Oh, who do the boats belong to? Boat company. Can you meet a monk? You can go to a retreat. Shall we try it? They're not going to let us film a retreat, are they? But I could tell you about it afterwards. Could be an interesting episode. Looking for a question like, are they allowed to, if they become a monk, are they allowed to like leave or not? Oh, if a member of the community decides he does not want to be a monk anymore, can he quit? Monks make a vow and have pledged to live on a community until they die. Should a monk decide to leave, the legal code of community provides procedures to help him make the right decision and to accompany him. So I guess that means yes, but not easily. Really, my question I'd like to ask is there a toilet on this island? There must be one somewhere. I hope the boat's okay. Seemed quite set, so it should be okay. We are getting more confident at leaving it, because I find that if I've reversed on it enough and it's not stuck like it's been in previous episodes, but it's not moving by reversing on it, it's normally alright. For anything up to maybe 10 knots, if it was any more than 10, personally I'd want to be on the boat just to make sure, but I'm sure you could probably leave it in higher than that as well. But yeah, just personally, if I could hear wind now and I weren't on the boat, I'd be worried. So chapelle is an easy translation. It literally means chapel. So this looks interesting. Well, the boat's still there, so that's good. So we've made it the whole way around the island, literally walked the whole perimeter, and then the boat's literally just through there and then down, and we've got to a dead end and we can't get through. So we're walking back around the island, I guess. Literally back in line with the boat as well. It's looking small out there. Comparison. So this is where the ferry comes in. Embankment, boarding area. So we could in theory get that one. By the looks of it, that one didn't come from Cannes, because it's come from over there and Cannes over there. So I think they also run from Theulsamere, where I was a couple of months ago. Just then that felt like it was literally last week, but it weren't, it was a couple of months ago. But at the time they weren't running, but that little dock that I was in was actually the ferry dock where I tied up to charge my batteries for a little bit. So that one may well have come from the Ulster, but they run quite often throughout the day, so we just do it the hard way. But as it is, so yeah, the ferry comes in there. Gonna go have a look to see if there's any prices on it, but I don't want to record random people because it's not nice. When people will generally get off the ferry, and then before exploring the area I found that there's actually a little restaurant over here. It's probably quite nice, it'd be nice, some woolfrits right now, but we're not that rich, so it's going to be back to tinned beans probably. No, I'm joking, it's not tinned beans. We've actually been doing quite well, and I'm saying the restaurant would be nice, but we've been eating fresh fish for a few days, so we can't complain. That's just open, see out there? It's so flat. I don't think I've ever seen it that flat down here. I think it helps as well that this is a nature reserve, so it's obviously well looked after, but wow. So with a bit of luck, that's the end of the rain. I didn't actually check the full forecast. I normally just check the wind, to be honest. And then if it's sunny or rainy, it's sunny or rainy. But I did have a quick look and it said, you know, yesterday and today was rain, but I didn't look what time it finished. But with a bit of luck, that's it now. And then we have a few days of sun. So, and I'm talking like 20 degrees. Talking swimming, snorkeling, spearfishing weather. And I can lose this coat, that would be nice. I still can't get over this today. You know, it just feels so nice not to be in that port anymore and, you know, just anchored off an island. And it's really motivating as well to get on and do what I want to do. Realistically, like I've said already, I'm going to have to try find a bit of work this month so that I can replace the things I need to replace on the boat. And I'm going to do a separate video about things to look out for when buying a boat, because, you know, mine was always going to be a bit of a project, but it just turned into more of a project than I thought it was going to be, and it's still ongoing. But yeah, being out here, you know, that gives me the motivation. That's just open sea, you know. Africa is over there, like, it's just, it almost looks like a reef. I don't know how well it's capturing it on camera. The other thing I really want to get sorted soon is the drone too. I messed up back in October when I just didn't have my priorities straight. But yeah, a drone would capture that quite nicely. But for now, you've just got my face explaining it to you. But yeah, we're nearly back now in line with the boat. And if the sea's like that on, yeah, this is the side, no, we're now on the tip, so we're around there. So I'm wondering if it's going to be as flat over there. The wind was coming from over there, hence why that's so flat. So maybe we should have anchored over there, because that looks nice, doesn't it? But I really want to go around there. I've been to, I've not been to the Caribbean, but I've been to Belize before, and that's the only time I've really seen reefs. But it just looks how a reef looks. If you didn't know I was in France, I could probably post a video of that, hashtag Caribbean, and I think people would believe me. I mean, sometimes I don't know what to call the episodes when I put them on. I sit there sometimes for ages thinking, what should I call it? Like, can I just call it episode 12 or whatever? But I can't, because I obviously need people to click on it. And then I like to think I'm not that bothered about that. But some of you that are watching this now, if YouTube hadn't shown it you wouldn't have found it. And I actually look how much of the videos get seen because someone searched something along the lines of what I'm doing, and trust me, no one is searching for hairy Yorkshireman sails boat around. No one's searching for that. So for that reason, I do have to like put a bit of effort into like the title and stuff, which I never thought I'd have to do. And me and my friend used to watch a few sailing channels, and it's easy to think, why are you trying to get people to click on it with that title and stuff? But it's what you have to do. I do try to make sure in the title or in the picture I'm not putting something that didn't happen, because it's just not right to do that. Luckily I've had a few disasters, or unluckily, but luckily I've had a few. So, you know, engine breaking down at sea, for an example of a title, did break down at sea, so it was fine. But anyway, I'm going off track. What I was going to say is, for this episode, and just seeing how the water looked there, it could be like south of France or the Caribbean. Anyway, just letting you know my thought process when I have to think of titles for videos. But yeah, we should not be far back from the boat now. That bit of sun was a bit momentarily, it came and it went. Tomorrow's meant to be sunny, so is it trying to come back out now? It's trying. Let's go have a look down here. Looks nice. They're just a bit too scary to go in, aren't they? They've always got like stuff on the walls, and I've been into one before near Port Grumeau, and I got inside and there was like one of them weird sort of homemade Ouija board things on the floor, and a circle of salt, which I only know this because I once worked with this like guy who one day was pouring salt around his like pitch that he lived on, and when I asked him why, he said keep the demons away. I don't know, I thought he had slugs or something, but yeah, it had like a ring of salt inside, so I don't know, it spooked me out a little bit. But saying that, I can just do it, can't I? Not going to be anything in there, is there? Said it now. Do we have a torch? Right. Let's go and have a look. Oh, you never know if there's going to be like a wild boar, or I remember my friend going into a cave in the Ardèche and getting attacked by a beaver. He watches this too, so he'll appreciate that mention. There's nothing in there. If it all goes wrong and the boat sinks, we can come and sleep in here. No, not. Sometimes I get crazy ideas. That grunt was. We could like do one of them survival videos, but we don't need to do that, do we? Because I have a boat, so, and you know, I have to camp on the island, and I have a boat, so I may as well just stick with the boat. So yeah, that's the one of the Lerins Islands. There were no boats in this little dock when I came in, and now there's a few, and I'd maybe put my dinghy in a slightly awkward place. But it's still where I left it, so it's alright. So, what you've got in here is a channel that runs through the middle, and then you have on this side 2 separate anchorages, and then 2 parts where you can't anchor, where the ferries and boats come in and out. So I'm just on the other side of the channel on that side, and then there's also this side here where a few boats are anchored up. We're all pointing the same way. It's not much wind at the minute, but yeah. So then you've got this little pontoon, I guess. So somebody asked me the other day, what do you do with your dinghy? Like, are you worried about leaving it on the beach? Or say dinghy, tender. Ow. Someone just stung my foot. Start again. What do you do with your dinghy? So yeah, dinghy, tender, annex, whatever you want to call it. Do you just leave it on the beach? What if someone stole it? And yeah, sometimes there's no choice but to leave it on the beach. You just hope that it doesn't get stolen. But where possible, if there's a little dock, I tend to put it in the little dock. Likewise, if there's a bit of a port, I'll put it in there. But yeah. Right, let's get back to the boat. Right, so tea time. That's yesterday's pan, and we're having the same thing we had yesterday. So to like counteract the fact we don't really have much gas, that little bottle's the last one of them. And the outside gas barbecue, you know, it's raining, so later in the week we'll use that. But right now, cooking out in the rain, I mean, it'd probably still be alright, but we had this mince anyway that was going to last 2 days. So to counteract having very little gas, what we're going to do is, instead of waiting a lifetime for potatoes to boil, I didn't go to plan, did it? Packet mash. I've not even ever tried this in my life until I started staying at anchor and trying to save money. But you get 4 sachets for €1, and it's just a bit of filler in it. Hold on while I open this. An exact amount of boiling water, which we're not going to do. We're just going to try and work it out. And we didn't add nearly enough water. You know, when we've got more gas, we will use potatoes. But I quite like mash, but you've got to boil the potatoes for ages. Anyway, we've got it to that sort of consistency there, which is still sort of a mash and not really a smash consistency. Honestly, it's quite nice. Like, if it was laid out differently on a plate, I don't think you'd know that it was instant mash. The garlic really helps the flavour of that as well. And yeah, just because it's all in one pan, if I gave someone that, they'd be like, what is that? But to taste, it's quite decent, to be honest. I've had worse shepherd's pies. We also just have a few multivitamins, which I'm really bad at taking. One's for strong hair, nails and skin, because I don't know why I need the hair and nails one, but I have it anyway. And the other's like just an all-purpose multivitamin. Really, I should get more, because, you know, without having a fridge and without being able to go to the shop every day, making sure you're eating everything you're meant to eat is actually just not easy. And even eating once a day would be good if I still got everything I needed to get, but I don't, so I just try to make sure. But I don't, so I just try to make sure that I eat. Take 7. So with the multivitamins, it's just so that I do get like some vitamins. I'll also have an orange after this. I've had a banana just before it. And yeah. And the GoPro battery is about to die, and I've charged them and used them all in one day. So I might have to put the engine back on to recharge them. Someone like gave me these. I don't actually like them, but we shouldn't waste them, should we? So we're gonna get a few of them in there. They're just not nice. Tinned vegetables. Says the guy who's eating instant mash and 3-day-old mince. Anyway,